Welcome, everyone. I'll give you a couple of minutes to join and to come into the space. Welcome, welcome. Yay. I see some familiar names. I see some familiar handles, I guess we call them. Well, welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Zinn Method. Welcome to Moving with Me in 2026. I'm Jessa Zinn. I'm the founder of the Zinn Method, and I'm so glad you're here. If you're here because you want to move better or feel better in your body, what your body is actually looking for is space. So, space to feel, space to move with ease. And that starts on the inside with our breath. So, today we're going to use very simple movements that you can do with no equipment. We'll be on the floor, but you can also modify by doing the movements in a chair. And together we will open up some of the larger sheaths of fascia in the body. So nothing fancy, nothing forced. But before we move, let's ground ourselves in what fascia actually is. So fascia is the connective tissue that wraps around absolutely everything in the body. It wraps around your joints, your organs, and your bones. It's how force moves through the body. It's how breath travels. And it's how tension and even emotion are carried. And so when the fascia is hydrated, it's responsive and movement feels easier. But when it's dehydrated, it becomes guarded, compressed, and then everything just feels and moves a little bit harder. And this is why stretching alone doesn't often work. So, stiffness isn't always asking for more effort. Often, it's asking for different input and different information. So, in the Zinn method, we always start with self assessment. And this is what I call mapping. Mapping teaches us how to intelligently discern what's actually happening in the body before we try to change anything. So, right now, let's begin in a seated position of your choice. Find a comfortable seat. Welcome. Place one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. Just pause. Good. Let the shoulders draw down the back and take 3 slow breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. No fixing, no perfecting, just noticing. Which hand moves first? Which hand feels more effortful in which part feels more effortful in your hands? Good. Beautiful. And now bring your hands to your ribs. As soon as I put my hands here, my shoulders want to shrug up. So just invite the shoulders to draw down the back. Good. Breathe laterally into the ribs. And just notice which hand moves first. Notice how effortful or how easeful the movement is, because we'll be returning back to this. Good. And release. So taking that attention, taking that self-care, because attention is intentional self-care. Let's come on to our hands and knees. Now you can do this as a modification in a chair. So on your hands and knees, we're going to come into simple movements that we know, but we're bringing our attention to the sheaths of fabric that's called the fascia. So, taking the awareness that you just built about your breath and about how you are or are not moving into your side body, inhale, lift the chest up. Good. And exhale, round the spine. And again, inhale, lifting, noticing how easeful or how difficult the movement feels. And exhale, round. And now this time, inhale, lift the chest forward and pause. Good. Rotate the elbows out. Really press into the four corners of the hand. Lift the chest forward and connect to that sheath of fabric from the pubic bone all the way up that front body. Breathe here, 3 breaths. Pressing into the hands. Engage the lower abdominals. Collarbones are broad. We're not overextending through the neck, but lengthening through the arms by pressing into the floor. Connect to your ribs. Find that space inside. And now press into the floor, round the spine, pull the belly button in, release the head. Without shrugging the shoulders towards the ears, press into the hands. And now breathe into this back body, into this back sheath of fascia. Good. 3 breaths. Imagining that your hands are still on your side body and expand into them. Using the breath to connect, to open, to change. Good. And now gently letting the movement become more fluid, rounding and arching, extending and flexing. Good. And now we'll take the movement into a child's pose. Take your feet together and bring your knees wide. Allow the butt to come to the heels and just rock forward and back. Breathing, the collarbones are broad. Imagine that you're holding a large grapefruit underneath your chin, so your chin is ever so slightly tucked. Good. And now bring the butt to the heels and walk your hands to the left. Bend your left elbow down and walk your right fingers forward and really breathe into that right side body. Feel that sheath of fabric. That's the fascial system. And now cupping the right hand, rotate ever so gently. Imagine that your hand is still on the ribs and breathe laterally, inhaling and exhaling. 2 more breaths. Inhaling and exhaling. Rotate the elbow so it's gently pointing towards the ceiling. The shoulder blade moves down the back. Good. And then come center. And then walk your hands to the right. Allow the right elbow to bend. Press into the right fingertips. Lengthen through the chest. And breathe. Good. So it doesn't take complicated movements to make change in the body. It takes patience, it takes attention, and it takes knowing what to pay attention to be able to assess what we've changed. One more deep breath into that left side body. Beautiful. Come back, center. Come onto the hands and knees and come into a seated cross-legged position. If you have a block nearby, you can elevate yourself. Take the hands to the side ribs again, just as we began. Take a deep breath in. And now rotate to the right. I see all the waves. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. We'll be doing this every Wednesday in January. So and we're recording it, so you'll be able to get access to it if you are joining a little bit late. Breathe. But I want movement to be accessible to everybody. 3 breaths. Find those side ribs once again, just like we began. Inhale and exhale. The art here is noticing. And the real art is in noticing kindly, right? Because in these movements, in these moments, we get to hear how we speak to ourselves. And as we hear that voice, we can change it. We can direct it to a kinder, more loving voice, as if you're talking to your best friend. Inhale and exhale, come out of the movement and just pause in between. Feel how that one side of the body feels compared to the one that you haven't moved yet. Good. And now rotate to the left. Bring your right hand to the outside of your left knee. Cup your left fingers and rotate. And really, the sit bones stay seated. The sit bones stay grounded to the floor or to the block, whatever they're connected to. And I want you to use your arms to really rotate that fabric. Collarbones are broad. Spine is long, chest is open, voice is kind. Find that internal space. Breathe. Right shoulder blade down the back, neck long. Swallow, make sure your throat is open. Beautiful. Inhale. And exhale, return to center and place the hands back on the ribs as we began. Draw the shoulder blades down. Feel your sit bones grounded and breathe in. Feel the effortlessness of the movement. Feel the space you created. Feel the access you created. The awareness. Great. And release. I am so grateful that you joined me today. This is exactly what we explore, what we do inside the Zinn Method. I developed this method because my experience as a practitioner was that everybody was coming in thinking that wanting to move better and thinking that they were doing something wrong and that there was something about themselves or their bodies they needed to fix. And the truth is, we're not broken. We just need to be taught how to listen into the body so that we can decode and discern what are these signals of discomfort? What do they mean? What are they asking of me? So, the Zinn Method teaches us how to listen a little differently, how to understand what our body is trying to say to us, and then what to do about it. So it's a 3-phase method. We map, self-assess, we activate, releasing what's tight. No, we map, release, and activate. Map, release, activate. We map, which is a self-assessment process. We release what the pattern of tightness is, and then we activate so that we can stabilize and integrate these changes into our bodies and into our lives. Inside the platform, there's therapy plans, which are 10-day pain point exploration. So you go deep into what's hurting and figure out why it's hurting and what to do about it. But there's also quick fixes. So mobility flows that are body part focused. You wake up with a stiff neck. What do? You take a mobility flow for your shoulders and your neck. There's also deep dives for my nerdy folks like me who want to do a deeper understanding of an area of their body or anatomy in general. And then my favorite part is that we have the live classes. So every week we meet together live. I get to see you, we get to converse, and we get to ask questions about our bodies, our posture, our fascia, and explore and learn together. So I'm so glad you're here. I'm going to open it up to questions. So go ahead and comment any questions that you might have. I haven't done a Q&A before on IG, so bear with me. I might be a little awkward at this, but feel free to ask questions. I am here to answer. We have a good 14 minutes left until I have to deal with life ahead of me. But I wish everybody a really happy new year. Um, in addition to the therapy plans, in addition to the mobility flows in the live classes, in addition to the deeper dive courses, there's also a whole component called body literacy. Because body literacy is what I think we are all looking to learn more about. How do we move? What do you mean by cupping? I believe that question is referring to the movement aspect that we just did. Cupping the hand means instead of a flat palm on the floor, we're cupping the fingers. And what that allows us to do, I'll just demo here, is when my hand is flat, it's hard for me to move up the chain. When my hand is cupped, I can pull the shoulder up. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So when it's flat, I have less mobility up the chain. If your neck is stiff, do you mention stretching your back and shoulders? Correct. So neck tension tends to be not always, so these are very general statements, but neck tension can be the result of tight shoulders and tight back muscles. And so the we don't want to start with the place that is tight. We want to pull the lens back and understand what is the pattern that is contributing to tightness. And as we mobilize, we'll see, oh, this is stuck in me. This is mobile. I'm going to go to the place that is stuck and release there first. So fascia acts like material. When I have my shirt tucked in too tightly at the waist, I don't feel it pull at the waist, even though that's where it's gathered and tight. I feel it pull up at the neck. I don't yank here to release that tightness. I untuck the shirt and reorganize the material, and then I have comfort again. We're looking for those kind of patterns in the body. Feet, feet, feet. I can literally feel the right fascia in my feet. So painful. Where do I start? Same idea. I would start up the chain. Not that it isn't a local problem, but by the time people find me and are asking these questions, if it had been just a local problem, it probably would have been resolved. So we pull the lens back and we go global. I would start by opening up your hips. I would start by doing, I love a slant board. It's a one-hit wonder, unfortunately, but a slant board to stretch the calves and see if when you stretch the calves, when you open up the hips, if you feel a little bit more release in your feet. Tight fascia, not right fascia. Correct. I didn't see the previous question. This is fun. You guys are making me have to be really fast here. Can I scroll down with the? Oh, I can. Oh, I can. Thanks for the explanation. You're so welcome. Are the live classes at this time every week? Is there a schedule? There's a schedule. Because I have an internationally based clientele, I do Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern time, and I do Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Eastern time, and I alternate the two. Thanks for that question. Da-da. Keep them coming. This is so fun. Oh, I'm so glad. This was a great way to start the morning. Love the metaphor like material. I know. I'm a visual learner, and so anything that, and a kinesthetic learner, obviously. So anything that I can like really understand in my body, yeah. So you're welcome. Okay. If there are no more questions, I will look forward to seeing you 8 a.m. Eastern Time next week. If you have a question that occurs to you after, please DM me. Um, everything's better in community, and your questions help me to figure out how to better explain the information. So I welcome any questions. DM me. I'm here and available anytime you want. And have a really great day. Just making sure, nope, that I answered. Yes. Okay. Amazing. Happy New Year, everybody.